How's it going today, folks? Um, the last one on here, the last video on here, man, that was pretty funny because I was just super excited for this this wall project, and a couple things too. In the last video, I had a black square platform on my assembly table, and I said more on that. I had a question for you guys. Totally forgot to get to it because that's just how I am. But that was I guess you'd call it a riser for my mom's recliner. The recliner sat a little bit low, and she was having problems getting out of it, so kind of boosted it up. It was 2 sheets of 3/4 inch MDF and 1.5 square 2x2 select pine, and just a real quick frame screwed down. And I didn't glue it because in case it wasn't tall enough, that way I could take the MDF off and make the 1.5, the 2x2s, make them maybe 2x4s or 2x3s. But it's all done, and I just slid it under her chair and painted it flat black. I mean, you guys saw that, and she really loves it. Perfect height and everything. My question to you guys was, should that be a video, or is that too simple? My dad came over and asked if I would make that for my mom, and he came over and helped me a little bit, just kind of knock it out real quick. And so if you guys would like to see that in a video on my main channel. The other thing, so I pretty much got done with that other video for my wall, and I got started in on that garage wall thing. Shortly after I taped the video, I already switched it to an L shape. In fact, here, let me put up a sketch from SketchUp. And this is kind of what I had in mind here. Just kind of a, in here it's not showing the supports for the countertop or anything like that. That I'm working on. In fact, here, let me just scroll over. And these are essentially the supports for the countertop, and it's roughly 8 feet long, as this framework is exactly like 8 feet long. And then I'm going to put an MDF top, a dual layer MDF top, possibly laminated in either Formica or one of my local stores sells high density polyethylene and in black. But I didn't know how, with filming something on a black surface, but that's really not important. And then I measured the snowblower, and it's going to be pretty tall. So that peninsula, that L shape on the end where the snowblower is, that's actually going to be a little bit taller, probably about, I would say about 4 inches taller than my work surface. And then, in fact, you can see, I got to pull you off the tripod, but my shop is an absolute, it's just jam-packed with stuff. And I have the MDF behind me, and for those of you guys that worked with MDF, it's heavy stuff. And so I've been having to slide this back and forth to get to my assembly table and whatnot, but I just finished up the frames that I just showed you in SketchUp. This is one of the end frames, so it just has the one piece here. And then, let me see if I can get to this. And then this is the middle piece, and it's got these little notches to accept the long, in fact, the long ripped stuff is right there. And I'm going to try and make this a quick one. I'm already at about 3.5 minutes. But for those of you guys that don't follow me on Instagram, at Nick Ferry Builds on Instagram, I posted a picture of me. Luckily, yesterday was just gorgeous. It was absolutely just beautiful out, and I was lucky enough to pull my table saw out in the driveway. My wife was, willing to help, so we ripped down, what was it? 2? Why can't I count all of a sudden? 2 or 3 sheets of plywood, and it was 3/4, well, technically 11/16. I've never worked with this brand of plywood before. I think it's called Tiger Ply. I'm not totally sold on it. A lot of voids. I guess take it or leave it. But it was UV finished both sides, and so that way I don't have to worry about finishing this. And this is essentially a frame to go around these toolboxes, and you can see the boxes piled up. But I don't know. It was just, I got done with that theater job, and I had a couple extra bucks, and these were essentially on sale. They're like $300 a piece, which can be a lot of money to some, but you know what? For 18 drawers like that, and all I gotta do is build a little plywood frame to go around it. There you go. I'm going to have a little bit of a difficult time trying to film this plywood frame thing. I'm going to do something new on my main channel that I haven't done before, but I guess I'll give updates. Kind of in lieu of a fairy talk one week, I will give, or one, yeah, depending on whatever, you know, I can never figure out a schedule. But depending on, you know, how far I get and everything, I will post an update. And I've been filming, you know, like the ripping of the wood and screwing and gluing those together. My hopes is by the end of the day today, I have to attach those long pieces to the middle and the end, and it will span from like right around here to that middle section, and then get those 2 toolboxes inset into the frame. And then the way I designed it is, once they're inset, and they're pretty close. It's like I have about 1/8 to maybe 1/4 inch wiggle room once it's in there, and then the pieces that are sitting right here are the same. They were all ripped down to 3 inches, and then those get screwed to the face of that frame and lock it in place. A lot of half lap joinery, big surfaces, and and I was let me see if I moved this. Did I? I've been playing around with these washer head screws. I've used these in past projects where I needed bite, and I don't know if they ever ended up in a video, but where I needed that like washer head, like huge grip. But on this, I don't necessarily need that huge grip, but I designed this with kind of the aesthetics in mind, and just to kind of look industrial, those black cabinets on this kind of blonde UV finished birch plywood, and this just gives it that kind of that, I don't know. Some people don't care what their shop furniture looks like, and to each their own. That's totally cool. And that's the reason I actually spent so much time ripping down all this plywood, because I didn't want 2x4s. This was a temporary solution way back in the day. It's a 2x6 right there, but I don't like the look of it. It's just it feels like undrywalled or unfinished stud wall, and that's the feel I get. Anyways, long story short, let me know if you guys are like that with your hardware at all. I showed that in my table saw sled video, where I tried out like 3 different types of screws until I finally got the one that I mean, it's function first, then, you know, form, but if you can get the best of both worlds, I like it, and I like kind of that industrial look. So anyways, I'm gonna get back to this right away. And this is how bad I have ADD. A lot of people on my Instagram were commenting that they didn't know I had hair, which is weird because I don't really care what it looks like. I don't comb it or anything. But I'll show you this picture real quick. This was about a week ago before I cut it. It was about 1 foot long. Any particular reason to grow it out that length? Not really. But we had family pictures, so I had to cut it. But so this is what I'm left with. Normally I just wear a ball cap because it keeps my hair cleaner, and then I don't have to worry about combing it. Anyways, cool. That's about all I got. Just to change over 8 minutes. 8 minutes and 15 seconds or so. So hopefully you guys have a great day. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the update videos on my main channel and all that good stuff.